And it gave me pleasure. It was kind of a companion to me from the time I was about 4 years old. I always drew pictures. But I was led to believe it was a minor thing, art. It was minor. And so therefore I would always kind of hide it. So when I was in class one day, underneath the table I was drawing a little story for myself. The teacher caught me, it was third grade. The teacher caught me red-handed. She said, "Hey."
And what's the teacher's name?
Sorry. Her name was, I don't think she's still alive, Mrs. Steckle.
Yeah, I was only asking that because I think when you have a teacher like that, you always remember her name. Or his name.
Mrs. Steckle. And she was she's had a mean demeanor. And she caught me red-handed, and she said, "Hey, what's going on there underneath the table with you, Bobby Redford? What's so important there under the table? What's more important there than what we're talking about here?" And so I thought, I'm about to be toasted, I'm about to be burned. And she said, "Why don't you come up here and show us what's so important?" And so, of course, immediately the class started to giggle that I was about to be humiliated, and they were going to love that, And so I went up and held out my picture. I said, "Well, what this is a bunch of cowboys that are chasing some Indians over a cliff. And the cowboys are shooting the Indians. And shooting at the Indians are shooting arrows back at the cowboys. And above the cowboys are B-51 bombers bombing the cowboys." So what happened was the class responded to that. They liked it.
They liked it.
And she did something amazing. She recognized that, I think at that point, that's how I expressed myself, it was sort of my way of expressing myself. And rather than kill it and humiliating me, she said, "Look, I tell you what, we'll put an easel here every Wednesday in newsprint paper, and we'll give you 15 minutes every Wednesday to come up and draw a story for the class, but you have to promise to pay attention to
The rest of the time.
Yeah. Now,
Were you able to do that? Pay attention the rest of the time?
But I just remember that was a turning point in my life. Had she decided to really fry me at that point, God knows what. I was too insecure not to have that really affect me in some way. So that moved me forward. But it also told me that art was not a disaster, and that I could then maybe at some point make art something more substantial than it was being treated.
Well, Mrs. Steckler made a good choice that day, I think. So on the topic of creativity, obviously we're